Hello. All right, so we are going to do investigation number 3 with our wood, our very important material wood. So here's what you're going to need to get for today's investigation. You need to get your container and fill it up with some water. You are going to need your paper clips, and you are going to need your elastic band. And I hope I put enough paper clips in your bag. I tried. I had to make quite a few kits and then still have some for the classroom, even though I could have got more paper clips out of the storage room. But anyway, hopefully, if you don't have enough clips, hopefully you have some paper clips around your house that you can use. But I think I probably put enough. Okay, and you are also going to need your piece of pine. Remember, pine is that one smells like the pitch that you can smell from a Christmas tree, and it won't have a black or red dot on the end. So you're going to need to get those things. Go ahead and pause this video and gather those materials. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to review a little bit about what we learned about our wood yesterday when we put little droplets of water on the wood. I saw your science notebook entries, and you were absolutely correct. When you put a drop of water onto the particle board, for instance, it would bead up, or it would just stay in like a water droplet, right? For the most part, especially if you put it on the really, really smooth side of the particle board. But if you put a little drop of water on the red cedar, what happened was rather quickly the water spread out and it absorbed, say that word, absorbed into the wood, okay? So that was like one of the big vocabulary words I wanted to get out of yesterday was the word absorb. Sometimes when we were having this discussion in our classroom, some of the kids were saying things like, well, it dried up. And they were almost right. It seemed like it dried up because the water went away. But then another kiddo would say, it made a dark spot on the wood, like it changed the color of the wood, right? So we kind of had that little sense-making discussion of, okay, so if the water stains the wood and changes the wood's color, is the water really dried up, or did it absorb? Did it just move, okay? When you think of the word absorb, you can think of when you make a spill and you have to wipe it up with some paper towels, right? The paper towel absorbs whatever liquid that you spilled on the table, and now the liquid is just moved. It's not on the table anymore. Now the liquid is inside the paper towel. It didn't evaporate. It didn't dry up. It just got moved from one place to another. You can see this in action if you take this same cup or even the smaller one that's in your kit, put a little tiny bit of water in it and stick a sponge inside, or even a little piece of paper towel, and you can literally watch the water absorb and move up the paper towel, okay? So when the water goes away, that doesn't mean that it dried up. It means that it just moved. It absorbed into the wood. And you'll know it's dry when the watermark, the water stain, isn't there anymore, okay? So, with that being said, after we tested what happens to water on different types of wood, it will either spread out and absorb, or it will just sit there in a little bead and not do anything because it can't absorb. Sometimes there's something in the wood that's stopping the water from absorbing. We talked about things that sink and things that float, okay? And we discovered that all 5 pieces of our wood will float. Eventually, some of those pieces of wood, if left in the water for a really, really, really long time, will absorb a ton of water, like the red cedar. It quickly absorbs that water. And eventually it could become waterlogged, and then that would cause it to sink. But for the most part, wood is very, 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 very buoyant, and it will float for a long time. So today we have a challenge. What I want you to do is I want you to use your paper clips and your rubber bands, and I want you to figure out how you can sink your piece of pine in your water. So what do I mean by sink? Well, I believe you all know. If I take this pine and I stick it in my water, what does it do? It floats. What does it look like when it sinks? It's all the way on the bottom. Now you can't use your fingers to keep it down there. You have to figure out a way to use paper clips and rubber bands to make it sink. Okay? So when I take my hand and I push down, okay? I want you to do that a few times. All right? You are actually doing something. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you adding to the wood when you're pushing it down? Okay? So what I want you to do is I want you to take the next 5 or 6 minutes to experiment, try some things, test it out. What could you do with these paper clips and this rubber band to make this little piece of wood sink? How? All right, I'm not going to tell you what to do yet. I'm going to see if you can figure it out on your own. All right, or maybe come up with a better way. All right, so that is your job. Pause this video. You have 5-6 minutes. Set a timer. All right, go. All right, my friends. So you guys have just spent about 5 or 6 minutes playing with your wood and your paper clips, and now Mrs. Lewis is going to reveal to you the way that you can successfully sink this wood. What you need to do with the paper clips act as weight, okay? Say weight. Weight means making something heavy or light. When you take an apple and you put it on a scale and the scale moves, you've added weight to the scale, right? When you step on a scale at the doctor's office, they're checking your weight. How much do you weigh today? Have you gained weight? Have you lost weight? Okay? So in order for us to get that wood to sink, we were pushing down on it. We were giving it weight. We were pushing, all right? And so we need to attach weight to our pine block, right? And so this is how you can do it. Do you see what I did there? All right. So this is the next part of our test. I have added 4 clips, 1 clip on each side of our block. And now I'm going to test. Ready? Let's see if it sinks. It does not sink. I'm going to add another clip. This is very, very important. Every time you add more weight to your block, then you have to give it another test. It still floats. Let's add another paper clip. Okay, test again. It still floats. All right, So now I want you to take a few minutes to keep adding paper clips, and every time you add a paper clip, test, okay? Because I had somebody today that was just adding paper clip, adding paper clip, adding paper clip, adding paper clips, and then all of a sudden, yeah, his boat here, we call this a sunken ship, it sank, but it would have sank 10 paper clips ago if he would have been testing every time he made a change. Okay, so anytime you make a change in science, you want to test it out, so you don't sit there and waste too much time. So add a clip, drop it in, see what it does. Okay, and then we're going to talk about something else when you get back. Pause the video. Okay, so you're back. How'd it go? You got a sunken ship? I hope you're taking pictures during this process because the pictures are the best. Now, I have a question. Did any of you, hold on, you guys had more time than me. I don't actually get to pause my video. I need to add some more clips to mine real fast. Okay. Did any of you get something that looks like this, where one part of the block is definitely sinking, but the other part is still up and out of the water, and you can't figure out how to get it to sink? Yes? All right. So let's talk about that. This is what's happening. Let me show you. I need a little bit of paper towel here so I don't drip onto my computer. Hang on. Okay. This is what's happening. So here's my ship, okay? Here's my ship. What do you notice about the way I have put my paper clips on my ship? They're all on one side, right? It's not balanced, okay? The paper clips are all on this side. Look at this end of my ship has no metal on it at all. They're all down here. So of course, when I stick it into the water, the heaviest part of the boat is going to be the part that sinks, and the lightest part that doesn't have any weight is going to stay up. Okay? So, we have to balance the weight. Say balance the weight. That means that we need to make sure the paper clips are in the middle. Equally distribute the weight across our ship. All right, it is tricky, but this is so good for your fingers and your fine motor skills and your patience and testing, and we can do this. Look, I've only used one elastic. I mean, I put a few extra in there in case, because, kids do break the elastics really easily. All right? But see, there you go. There you go. So now, this might not sink yet because I might not have enough weight. But at least it's not one end sinking and the other end coming up. So if you have that problem of one end sinking and one end coming up, pause this video and make the fix right now. Balance the weight. Go. All right. So, do we have sunken ships? If you have sunken ships, I want to see pictures of your sunken ships. I also want to see pictures of the other things that you were exploring and experimenting with doing. Any troubles that you had doing this project. Document it all. Let me see it all, okay? Let me see. Maybe I have enough weight on mine to sink. Oh, we're so close. Maybe one or two more. Let me try one more and give it a test. And, one more. One more. Gotta get it in there. All right, ready? Let's see. There we go. Sunken ship. Now, this is what you have to do. We got to find out how many. So, let me move my mess out of the way here. Put my camera down. And you're going to watch me make a bar graph. Maybe I shouldn't have such a fancy tablecloth on my table. All right. So, I'm going to dry off my, yes, give me a towel, thank you. I'll put a towel down. Okay. I don't want to get my daughter's sketchbook all wet, but I didn't want you to see the ugly, busy tablecloth. Okay, so I'm going to take my elastic off, and I'm going to release my passengers. We like to call them passengers because passengers are on ships, so we're pretending that the paper clips are the passengers. I'm going to put my ship here, okay? And I'm going to line up. So my ship is in front of me, so you should put your ship in front of you. Okay, and then you're going to take each of your passengers, your paper clips, and you're going to make a bar graph like this. All right? You're going to line up your passengers just like this. Notice I have them nice and neat, going up a line like so. Okay. There we go. There. So I've made a bar graph, okay? Can you see that all right? I think you can. All right? And then we're going to count them, all right? I'm not going to count them. You're going to count yours. And then I want you to write that number down so you know how many passengers it took to sink your pine wood, okay? Then I want you to get your particle board out, and I want you to sink your particle board, and then I want you to compare how many paper clips it took to sink your pine compared to how many paper clips it takes to sink your particle board. Write that number down. You're going to do this exact same thing, but with particle board, okay? Make a prediction before you start. Is it going to take more paper clips than what you had here for your pine to sink that particle board, or will it be less? Compare the two, all right? We're comparing more or less, all right? Heavier, lighter, what do we think? All right, make those predictions. Tell me those thoughts. Have fun with this, okay? This is going to be great. Can't wait to see all your posts on Seesaw. You're doing a great job already. All right, see you later. Oh, and don't forget to write in your science notebook. I always forget this part. In your science notebook, okay, the question is, how can I sink wood? We just did it, okay? How can I sink wood? 5 words. I'm going to write that at the top, put today's date, and then what did we have to do to sink the wood, and draw me a picture, okay? All right. Have fun. Be safe. Love science. Bye.